Sean Penn has made his first television appearance since his Rolling Stone interview with drug kingpin Joaquin El Chappo Guzman. He says he's disappointed with the coverage his article got, saying his purpose was to spark a conversation about the war on drugs.
We all want this drug problem to stop. We all want the killings in Chicago to stop. We are the consumer. Whether you agree with Sean Penn or not, there is a complicity there. And if you are in the moral right or on the far left, just as many of your children are doing these drugs.
And once again this evening, Megan Batchelor has the latest on these new developments of the story.
Well, you'll remember Sean Penn kept a pretty low profile when this story first came out and his 10,000-word article in Rolling Stone was released. A lot of the coverage after that article was released focused on just how the Hollywood star managed to get in front of Guzman, and Penn wanted that conversation to be more focused on the war on drugs. And he actually told CBS's Charlie Rose that he figures the coverage went the way it did because journalists were jealous of the scoop that he managed to get. And he touched on, in the interview, just the argument that he might perhaps now have a target on his back since Guzman's recapture. Take a listen.
That the Mexican government, they were clearly very humiliated by the notion that someone found him before they did. Well, nobody found him before they did. We're not smarter than the DEA or the Mexican intelligence. We had a contact upon which we were able to facilitate an invitation.
Do you believe that the Mexican government released this in part because they wanted to see you blamed and to put you at risk?
Yes.
Turns out, Megan, one of the things we learned is that for Guzman, the most important actor in all of this wasn't Sean Penn, but rather Kate Del Castillo, the Mexican soap opera star. What's happening with her?
That's right. She's the Mexican soap opera star that had a pretty close relationship with Guzman. And it came out earlier this week that perhaps that relationship that the two of them had was a little more flirtatious than originally believed. Those text messages between the two were released. In one of them, Guzman says to her that she's the best thing in the world. He'll take better care of her than he does his own eyes. She's been keeping a pretty low profile since this story came out. She did take to Twitter, though, and she said that she was thanking people for their support of her. She's not surprised that some people have chosen to make some items up, and she's looking forward to sharing her side of the story. As far as El Chappo goes, he continues to be held in the Mexican prison that he did once escape from, but he is being moved from cell to cell to prevent that from happening again.
I will take better care of you than my own eyes. I'll have to remember that line. Thanks, Megan.